Here, that's- Right. I'd like to call the regular session of the Isabella County Board of Commissioners to order. Join me in the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Hutchinson.
Here.
Commissioner Emery.
Here.
Commissioner Jelazinski. Commissioner Engler.
Here.
Commissioner Marino.
Here.
Commissioner Sweeney.
Here.
Commissioner Hope.
Here.
All present except for Commissioner Jelazinski, Mr. Chairman.
Clerk. Up next would be approval of the agenda. We don't have any presentations or special reports or appointments to boards or commissions. We will approve and place on file the consent agenda. And then committee reports, Finance and Administration Committee.
Finance and Administration Committee is all set.
And Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee.
Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee is all set, Mr. Chairman.
Human Resources and Public Works Committee.
Human Resources and Public Works Committee is all set, Mr. Chair.
So we have no intergovernmental affairs, no administrator controller issues, no unfinished business or new business. We will have general public comment again, and then announcements and then adjournment. So with that, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved, Marino.
Supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Very good. We have an agenda. And we will move right down to consent agenda and Commissioner Embry. Oh, I'm sorry. I have a habit of getting ahead of myself sometimes. And up next actually is general public comment. So is there anyone for general public comment? My apologies. I get ahead of myself. Okay, seeing no one for general public comment, the consent agenda. Commissioner Embry, would you present that for us, please?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Motion reads, move to approve and place on file the September 17th, 2024 work session meeting minutes, the September 17th, 2024 regular meeting minutes, the September 24th, 2024 Finance and Administration Committee meeting minutes, the September 24th, 2024 Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee meeting minutes, the September 24th, 2024 Human Resources and Public Works Committee meeting minutes.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve and place on file the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Very good. Committee reports, Finance and Administration Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First item up for the Finance and Administration Committee is the September 13th, 2024 invoice list, the September 20th, 2024 invoice list, September 26th, 2024 adjustment list. Motion reads, move to ratify, place on file the September 13th, 2024 invoice list in the amount of $260,319.13. The September 20th, 2024 invoice list in the amount of $191,097.31, and the adjustment list dated September 26th, 2024.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to ratify and place on file the September 13th, 2024 invoice list, the September 20th, 2024 invoice list, and the September 26th, 2024 adjustment list. Discussion.
Would be remiss if I did not use this terminology from Vice Chairman Jelazinski. These invoices are seen by many eyes and many individuals within the county, which gives us an opportunity to take a look at them, question them if they need to be questioned, ask explanation, so that we are making sure that we are spending our taxpayers' money wisely. So with that, the September 13th invoice list We have all had a chance to review, along with administration, our new Director of Finance, and all of our department heads, and all of us. So gentlemen, is there any questions outside of the questions we had from the first regular work session? None? All right.
Okay.
Do we have any questions on the September 20th invoice list? I see no questions there. And then we have our invoice list from September 20, sorry about that. It's our invoice list. This is our adjustment list dated September 26th. Any questions, concerns, comments? There are none, Chairman.
Okay, hearing no other questions or discussion, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Embree,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler,
Yes.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope,
Yes.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
The second item, Finance and Administration Committee, is a prime contract change order number 27. Motion read, to approve the prime contract change order number 27 with Clark Construction in the net additional amount of $60,983 and authorize the board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the prime contract change order number 27. Discussion.
We had at our work session, Heidi Heinz-Kindle, who is the senior project manager for our correctional facility and sheriff's office. He went through and explained, I think I'm gonna start off with this. Usually I end with this. Our contingency and buyout totals $824,663. Translates into 37% of the total remaining in contingency and buyout for the project, and we are 89% complete. We are still using the buyout to pay for these change orders. And we are on number 27. We still have money left in the buyout line, which comes from value engineering, from Clark Construction, from Sheriff Maine, from our facilities director, Shoemaker, who have made a genuine effort to reduce the cost or keep the costs in line for this project. So I just want to start with that. The run through on these items Heidi went into, I can do a quick run through. We have the exterior wall hydrants. That was $1,422. We had a change in a door that was going to now swing in versus swing out in the event we have a whole lot of snow moving forward, which I hope we never do. That total $16,238. Fire extinguishers that need to be provided at Sallyport and the booking station for $2,970. Create some better access to some class piping, mechanical piping and hydronic lines that were above the classroom. That was $13,043. We had to change the thickness of the frames that hold the glass in some of our doors, especially at the booking counter station and reception. So with that, we also we made some modifications according to the sheriff. We're going to put in speaker ports as opposed to the little pass through underneath the window. We're going to create speaker ports within the windows in the booking area, in the reception area. The total for that was $20,585. What's the next one? And again, the glass for the booking areas with the changes, just $12,906. We had some data report requests from the sheriff for the radio key storage area and interview and classification rooms. That was $3,825. And we needed some different brackets in the, I forget what this was. I think this is in the Sallyport. Yep, we're not on the drawings. the way to create different brackets in order to, improve the restraint hangers. So that totaled 1,520. And then the last item was a transfer for one contractor to another between Total Fire and Master Electric. And that was to add coordination of the institutional cover systems at the new sheriff's office and correctional facility. Commissioners, do we have any questions or comments on that? Or? Yes, sir.
So what's our buyout at right now?
Our buyout is, wait, if I remember right, it's 714,000 is our contingency. 781.
So at
Yep.
42,000?
Yep, there you go. Yes, sir. Right there. We still haven't buyout 42,000. And that has, with the value engineering, has fluctuated. It's gone up and down and gotten really close to where we're going to start using contingency, but we keep finding more opportunities to save on this project, and has allowed us to, again, continue to use the buyout through those value engineering efforts. Any other questions?
Any other questions, discussion on that? Hearing nothing, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Engler,
Yeah.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope, Commissioner Hutchinson. Yes. Commissioner Embry. 6 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Third item. Finance is the amendment number 2025-1. Motion reads, move to approve Pat's budget amendment number 2025-25. Support.
Supported to approve the HATS budget amendment number 2025-1. Discussion.
Madam Administrator was kind enough to walk us through how we're going to achieve finding that $55,000 that we needed to in order to meet the request of HATS for $155,000 to add to their budget, their appropriation for this coming year. I know we have had conversations. We started off at $100,000 for HATS. I know there's been discussion about their funding and what they have available to them. But I know I've been kind of negative about funding any additional monies to HATS. But at this point, I feel like it's important for us as a board to maintain a positive relationship with HATS. And in this process, I think we've found the money for this next year. Moving forward, I'm hoping HATS understands that this is not a legacy pot of money. It's not going to be there to continue to come back to. We may not have this money next year. So it would be my recommendation to HATS that they begin a process of figuring out how they streamline their budget and their spending. Next year, we are much closer, if not at $100,000 allocation towards them. That would be my recommendation.
Very good. Any other discussion on that item, Commissioner Swaney?
I'd just like to state here that earlier it was suggested that HATS is making a lot more money than their expenses are done. And I actually looked at the provided documents from the first pages of each of their reported taxes from 22 to 2018. And except for the COVID years of 20 and 21, they've either run within $5,000 of expenses and revenues or lost $100 below. So expenses ran $130,000 below their costs. So obviously we're looking at the 2021 and the 2020 year where we have a COVID and I'm sure there's lots of donations. There's people not working there, so they don't have that expense. So they did run, I think 100,000 and 230,000 those 2 years, but those are the only 2 years in which they received revenue way above expenses as suggested So we have to look at the full picture and not provide, a picture that, just serves our own interests. And so we need to look at this as we're working with hats right now. We don't have money for next year because this is not a funding that's year after year. So we're going to have to work with them, and they're going to have to know, like Commissioner Embry said, that they're going to have to find ways to cut their budgets. This happened a little late in our budget process. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had this turmoil or discussion at all, because we would have worked it out 3 months ago with them. So I think we need to have, a greater understanding of this process. I think among all of us.
Good points. Any other discussion on that item? Hearing nothing more, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope,
Yes.
No.
Commissioner Embry,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler.
Yes.
5 ayes, 1 nay, motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
All right, the fourth and final item for the Finance and Administration Committee is the Insurance Committee recommendation for in lieu benefit. Motion reads, move to approve the Insurance Committee recommendation for the in lieu benefit for full-time employees opting out of medical coverage at $5,200 per year, effective January 1st, 2025.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the Insurance Committee recommendations for in lieu benefits. Discussion.
We talked a little bit earlier about our insurance committee and what a fine job they've done. And they've really helped us out in this whole budgeting process. Like the chair had mentioned, we were facing a 20% increase. We charged them with reducing that increase to 10% or less. They were able to do it without adversely affecting the benefits for the employees that work for Isabella County. That's impressive. I do understand that we did have to increase a little bit the cost shares. I understand that, but it was minimal compared to the surrounding entities that we compete with. So I'm very much in support of this option. It gives people choices and makes it makes it viable to opt out and to go with another plan, which will benefit them and their family if they so have, and also will benefit us long-term if they choose to opt out.
Yep, I'll just add that, so increasing the opt-out kind of sweetens the pot for someone that might have other options for healthcare available to them through a spouse or what have you. And to make this pay for itself, you have to budget the increase, and you base that on the number of opt-outs we have now. We have 8 or 9 now, I believe. And so you budget for that extra amount for eight or 9 people. But if we get one more employee that opts out, it's paid for itself. And then if you get 2, then that's money to the good. So we'll continue to review it year after year. If it doesn't work out for us, if it doesn't save us any money, then we'll consider going back, to the in lieu payment that we had previously. So any other questions? Yes, sir.
Quick question, maybe for Administrator Frost. Is it about 35,000, 38,000 that we spend on benefits for an individual?
For a family plan, it's about 25,000.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope,
Yes.
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 0 nays, motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Oh, this completes the work of the Finance and Administration Committee for this evening.
Good job, Commissioner Embry, flying
Sure.
solo tonight and doing the heavy lifting. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
And that will bring us to Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee.
First item in Michigan State Industries quote from mattresses. Motion reads, move to approve the quote from Michigan State Industries in the amount of $9,294.30 for inmate mattresses.
Been moved and supported to approve the Michigan State Industries quote for mattresses. Discussion.
All right, so this goes under our expenses for the county that lie under furnishes and furniture and those items that we're paying for ourselves so that we don't have to pay taxes. These mattresses are made in Michigan by inmates and makes the mattresses extremely cheap for us at about $45 a mattress. I wish I had paid that much for mine. So we're gonna get about 200 mattresses for this, a little over 200 mattresses.
Wow, pretty good deal. Any other discussion on that item? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Hope,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
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 Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Sweeney.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Madam Clerk?
All right, Key Control Solution Systems quote. Oh, motion reads, move to approve the quote from Key Control Solution Systems in the amount of $12,760.80 for key control unit and authorize board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the key control solution system quote for key control. Discussion.
All right, so this will be installed in the new facility, criminal facility, and it will work with with the employees so that they can check out the over 100 or so keys that they may need throughout their work day to use, and we'll know if they don't return it so that we can track down those keys and don't incur further expenses trying to rekey things from lost keys.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Hutchinson.
Yes.
Commissioner Embry.
Yes.
Commissioner Engler,
Yes.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Sweeney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Okay, last up is the manpower agreement. The motion reads, move to approve the request to upgrade the manpower agreement to include clerical staff and authorize the board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the manpower agreement. Discussion.
Yes, we had Register of Deed Karen Jackson talking earlier about this. As you know, all the departments have had staff cuttings, so this is a way to fulfill some of the requirements they need at a lesser cost and stay under budget. A lot of the duties that are required, this person would not be able to do, so they had to reclassify that. So to catch up and help catch up with some of the backlog that they're experiencing. So
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Embry.
Yes.
Commissioner Engler,
yes.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Sweeney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope,
Yes,
Commissioner Hutchinson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, that completes the work of the Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee.
Thank you, gentlemen. And that would bring us to Human Resources and Public Works Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our first item is zoning amendment 24-01. The motion reads, move to approve zoning amendment 21-01, which amends the Isabella County zoning ordinance map in section 34 of Broomfield Township by rezoning with conditions to describe property from agricultural buffer AG3 to general Agriculture, AG2, and authorize the board chairman to sign the conditional rezoning statement of conditions agreement.
Supported to approve zoning amendment number 24-01. Discussion.
Right, Timothy Neoport came to our committee meeting and also to the work session to present this to us. Actually, this has happened 5 or 6 times before in the county. And what it involves is making sure that the zoning fits what the petitioner wants. It has to be initiated by the person wanting to make the change. And the end results was there will be allowed a sawmill to operate. And when there's a conditional rezoning, the person that requests it has to only use the condition they listed. All the other ones in that zone, AG2, are exempted from it. And so everybody was happy. The Planning Commission have the public hearing on it September 12th to rezone the property as requested by Roy and Dave Weaver. It was at 8471 West Deerfield Road. And that's about it. Anybody have any questions or comments?
I'll just add that the conditions that were brought forward, so that, you know, Ag 2 has a whole list of uses. It can only be used for these certain items under Ag 2. If that property changes hands, those conditions stay with that property in perpetuity. So that does not change if the property changes hands. Any other discussion on that? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Engler?
Yes.
Commissioner Marino?
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney?
Yes.
Commissioner Hope?
Yes.
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 Nays, motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Okay, a second. Motion. The agreement for services between Isabel County on behalf of the Isabel County Recycling Center and the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe of Michigan in the amount of $1,149,038 for the solid waste infrastructure and recycling project, and authorizing the board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the agreement for program services. Discussion.
Yes, this is Jake Borton, the director of the MRF out there. And this allows us to go forward with what we've been trying to do. And it's a good thing to move forward and maybe make some money out there. But this allows us, it's an EPA grant, and we have to have this and the contract signed and sealed. It allows us to go forward and also allows us to purchase, you know, air compressor systems, new balers, new robotic systems for sorting. Just gets us in line and started with the whole system.
Very good. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to thank the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe. They've been a wonderful partner in this endeavor. I said it's to get them excited about a project. We've had, you know, discussions with Eagle, and we got the $900,000 grant from there. They're excited about the project. And we've our Heartland MMP group are all excited about the project. So it's to get everybody working together on this. It's a good start.
It is a good start. Thank you for that. And it, bottom line, it will greatly increase recycling in central Michigan. I think Commissioner Marino.
Yeah, I'd like to point out, because it's a EPA deal, there's going to be prevailing wage required, and also built in America. That's another part of the requirement. So I think that's a really good thing. Good paying job.
Yes, sir.
I just want to point out, I think it's very important to point out, and again, I'm glad you thanks the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe. In my conversations as part of the Heartland MMP group, in our conversations, initial conversations with the various counties that are now part of this, where's the money coming from was a big question. And we could state right up front that we have the Eagle grants that we applied for. We have the EPA grants through the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe. That was instrumental, I believe, in swaying a lot of counties to come along with us to create one of the largest material management planning groups in the state. We, again, as I mentioned many times before, we will be servicing well in the over 1,000 residents with this facility at some point in time. So.
Very good. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope.
Yeah.
Commissioner Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Commissioner Embry.
Yeah.
Commissioner Engler.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Okay, our next item is individual service contracts. The motion reads, move to approve the individual service contracts between Isabella County Commission on Aging and James Vandermeer, Stacy Graham, Angela McGirt, Catherine Tobin, Judy Swartz, Steve Wood, and Mary Alsinger to provide activity services, and Virginia Kane to serve as active living newspaper editor effective October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025, and authorize the board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
Supported to approve the individual service contracts. Discussion.
Okay, Jennifer Crawford, the director of the Commission on Aging, brought this item to us. And it's quite interesting. It involves instructors for Tai Chi, chair yoga, aqua Zumba, yoga, active living. Well, that's the editor, active living newspaper, Zumba Gold, and anyone can paint class, senior water aerobics. So these are really popular features that the Commission on Aging does for the community. And I would like to thank all the people that come forward to provide this training. And it's also the contracts listed and related activities will be funded by the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe, 2% disbursements and senior millage. So I'd like to also thank the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe again. They're so generous and very, we couldn't do so many things without them. Any questions or comments? Go ahead.
And we have a new pickleball court.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's right.
Most of these names are names I've seen over the last 8 years since I've been on this board. So these folks have been at it at least that long, probably longer. But I appreciate their service to our Commission on Aging. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope,
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Embry,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler,
Yes.
Commissioner Marino.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Okay, our next item, in-home personal individual service contract. Motion reads, move to approve the in-home personal individual service contract between the Isabella County Commission on Aging and Elizabeth Jane Starr Gefford for services as a registered nurse effective October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025, and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support.
Been supported to approve the in-home personal individual services contract. Discussion.
Yes, this is another one of those people that's been with us for quite a while. We are obligated to have a registered nurse on hand, and this person provides that for us and does a wonderful job, and has been with us for quite some time.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Hope, Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Embry,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler,
Yes.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney. 6 ayes, 0 nays, motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, our next item is individual personal service contracts. And the motion reads, move to approve the individual personal service contracts with Robert Lee, Bob Stickler as bulk food delivery drivers from October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025, and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support.
Been supported to approve the individual personal service contracts. Discussion.
Yeah, this involves the bulk food meal delivery. And Robert Lee and Paul Stickler are the individuals here. And that covers the delivery of bulk food to various Food with Friends nutrition sites throughout Isabella County. And the contract reimbursement rate is based on the length of the route and can range between $42 and $47 per route. And they're very flexible. They help each other out. If somebody is not around, they cover for each other. And again, I'd like to thank the individuals for doing this service. It's really important to get food to seniors. Any questions or comments?
Hearing,
Let's see. None.
hearing nothing more. Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Hutchinson. Commissioner Embry. Commissioner Engler.
Yes.
Commissioner Marino. Commissioner Sweeney. Commissioner Hope. 6 ayes, 0 nays, motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, our last item, fiscal year 25, Isabel County Commission on Aging Nutrition Site Agreements. Motion reads, move to approve the fiscal year 2025 Isabel County Commission on Aging Nutrition Site Agreements for the congregate meal sites with Shepherd United Methodist Church at the rate of $150 per month, Fremont Township Wynn Community Building at the rate of $300 per month, Rosebush Manor at the rate of $90 per month, and Sherman Township Wademan at the rate of $250 per month, and authorize the board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the fiscal year 25 Isabella County Commission on Aging Nutrition Site Agreements. Discussion.
Yeah, this is a 5-day-a-week program that they have that along with the drivers that allows us to get the food out Monday, Wednesday, Friday to these individual sites and get it closer to the people that actually use them out there. And it allows us to also to rather than having people come all the way down here, go to that site that's close to them. It allows us to get nutrition out to them.
Yep, the sites are pretty well spaced through all 4 corners of the county, so no matter where you live, you can get to one of those sites. And I don't think those rates have changed in a long time. It's a pretty nominal fee. So any other, yes,
I
sir.
just say from when I was on the that subcommittee in 2018 and 19 that the prices were pretty much exactly the same. So they've certainly working as low as possible. So
Yep.
it's nice.
Any other discussion on that item? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Yes.
Commissioner Marino.
Yes.
Commissioner Sweeney. Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
Yes.
His motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
That completes the work of the Human Resources and Public Works Committee. Mr. Chair.
We have no intergovernmental affairs, no administrator controller issues, no unfinished business, no new business. Brings us down to general public comments. Is there anyone for general public comment?
Try not to do it with the grace of our presidents and vice presidents in their debates. Regarding the budget, I wasn't trying to make an opinion one way or the other. I was just trying to bring some facts in. It seemed like there was a lack of facts in what the budgets were, so I brought that in. You may be correct in the assumption that it's COVID or not COVID. I don't know. You guys are the ones that had to vote on that. I just wanted to provide some information. I do think it's interesting that in the budget situation that we're in now, if we had to squeeze $55,000 out for one purpose, only one purpose, 5 of the commissioners would use that for hats as opposed to any other thing that's out there. It's not where I would spend the $55,000. To Commissioner Embry, appreciate you. I want to say one thing. I understand maintaining the positive relationship. I do think it's a little bad that we didn't want to maintain a positive relationship with the sheriff when we cut 100% of his road patrol. So it may be something that we should apply in other areas too. But I do want to, the topic that I actually came to talk about a little bit more was health insurance here. I'd mentioned before that several people that either worked for or were affiliated with people who worked for CMU and for the city had said things to me like when they get older, when they're ready to retire, they want to work for the county. And I mentioned that in passing. Also mentioned that health insurance costs were increasing and got a little bit of resistance to that. So I talked with one and got it. So there's a CMU person who's an office professional. She has Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO2 family plan. In July 24, her employee premium for her family plan went from $65 every 2 weeks to $131 every 2 weeks. That's a 100% increase in her premium. On a yearly basis, that's from $1,694 to $3,422 per year. So that increase to that particular person's salary on a $38,000 salary is 4%. So basically that one change in July 24 for their employee premiums caused a net decrease, a cost of living decrease, if you want to think of it, of 4.4%. They did get a cost of living adjustment, which was 0.5 to 1%. So basically that particular person at CMU had a net cost of living decrease of 4%, just from a facts perspective, trying to throw something out there. I mentioned that from the perspective of we want to be careful that we don't pull people to the county just because of health insurance. And I think one of the responses back was, hey, it's a total package. We need to look at that. And I realized that the point that I was trying to make was missed there. So keep that in mind there about people at potentially at CMU, people at the city paying more for health insurance and looking at the county and saying, hey, there's a lot cheaper insurance at the county than there is here. Hold that thought for a second. The second thing that was brought up and voted today was insurance opt-out. In the finance committee, it was mentioned a couple of times that, one of the good targets for this is young people. People that are up to 26 years of age can actually take insurance on their family plan, their parents' plan. And so they may be able to take that out. And then there was also, like was mentioned, maybe spouses. And there was some discussion about sometimes plans don't allow you to opt out of insurance if you have the option for insurance, et cetera. But where I'm going at here is something about insurance. I know you guys aren't all insurance experts. I'm not an insurance expert, but with my business, we've been trying to figure out how to do health insurance with our employees. Out here from the actuary.org that I wanted to suggest that you take a look at. Insurance, unlike the way that I thought of it, is not like the casino where your goal is to go in with $100 and come out with $1,000. So if I only paid 100 and I came out with 1,000, I did well. We want everybody to go in and get their money's worth. So they pay 100 in premiums and they come out with 1,000. That's not how insurance works. Insurance is about risk pooling or pooling of risk. So we all pay in, and then whatever the costs of the insurance are comes out. And it's not like the casino where there's like an unlimited funds, it's there. So let's take an example. Say you have 100 employees and each one of them pays $8,000 for their premiums, whether that's employee paid or employer paid. You now have $800,000 of collected premiums. So whether you're doing self-insurance or whether you have another company doing it, there's basically $800,000 in a pot. If each one of those, or 99 of those 100 are like me and haven't been to the doctor in 10 years, maybe they used $1,000 worth of insurance, then you still have $700,000 in that pot. So one person can go have back surgery or neck surgery or knee surgery. And as long as that cost ends up being less than the 700,000, you've paid more premiums than what the expenses going out were. Your premiums are likely going to go down. As we saw, and I think the administrator mentioned this before, we had a few people who had some pretty expensive, unfortunate situations, which ended up costing a lot. So if those same 100 people paid the 8,000 in, you have an $800,000 pot, and that ends up spending out 1 million. So you were $200,000 short. You end up paying for that. The insurance company comes back next time and says, okay, you were $200,000 short. So we're going to set this up to be $400,000 more next time to make up the 200,000 and make sure that if it's 200,000 again, that you're caught. All right. So it's important that you understand that. If you don't understand the risk pooling, please grab this. It's critical to insurance. Here's the problem. There's this thing called adverse selection, which is the kryptonite of insurance. If you've looked at the Affordable Care Act, the marketplace, things of that nature, there's this challenge where if you're somebody that's young, if you're 26 years old and you don't need to use health insurance, you can get very cheap insurance because you're likely not going to use anything. And so if I'm an insurance company, I'll say, I want all the young guys. I want all the healthy people. I want all the unmarried ladies that may not be going to have a child. Basically picking the people that are going to end up using the least amount of insurance. And then because of that, you can offer them a lower rate. But what ends up happening is the people that fall out of that, as part of adverse selection, they end up having to go to something like the Affordable Care Act, which will take anybody. And then if they end up using more insurance, that ends up bringing up the rates of all of those. So consider again the CMU example we had and the total package buyout if a bunch of 20-year-olds take that. Instead of paying $8,000 to those 20-year-olds and putting that in the pot that can be shared with all the other people that are not quite as healthy, we've now taken them out of the pot and we've made the people that are in the pot what we would call adverse selection, more likely to use more insurance than to contribute to it. And while again, if you think from the casino mentality, that's right, that's fine, that's good insurance. I'm going to pay a little bit and I'm going to get a lot of value out. You end up paying that in the next year and the future years. So I bring this all up to say, please think about that from the two perspectives. If we look at these opt-outs and you find that a bunch of young people opted out and you think you're making money because you're spending 5,200 or whatever it is for them instead of 8,000, you're really probably losing money because you're taking people out of the pool that would likely not be large consumers of the insurance. And the same thing with the, if the county offers a better insurance or a lower cost insurance, if I'm young and I don't care, I don't really care what the insurance plan is. I want what the highest wage is because I want to go make money. As I start to get older, as I am, and I start realizing I might need a shoulder surgery, I might need a back surgery, then the wage is going to be a little less important to me than what the insurance offering is. The problem is then I'm going to be drawn to the place that has the best insurance, which is going to be adverse selection. So if you want, I don't expect you to necessarily take it, but please read up on that. I'm concerned, and I think that we should watch this because if we take out the people from the pool that are bigger contributors than they are taking out of the health insurance, that could end up being a double whammy on the next time when the insurance premiums come up. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for general public comment? Seeing no one else for general public comment, we will move on to announcements. Commissioners, any announcements? No announcements? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Support.
Moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are adjourned at 7:47.
Let us go.
Might be a record.
Hey, Google.